Since first seeing the LEGO Viking village, I've hoped to use its parts to recreate Medusel, the Golden Hall of Edoras, home of the Rohirrim and of King Theoden in Lord of the Rings. And this weekend, that time came. So when I started this process, I assumed that just taking it apart was the right move, and that was probably the wrong assumption. Because now I have this, and I kind of need to sort it before I can do anything. I have started sorting out some of these plates because what determines the dimensions is ultimately how big can I make the roof. The other thing is that the Golden Hall has like these little side pieces to it. It's not just like a traditional straight building, so that's going to be another factor of complication, and I'm glad I have a lot of small plates in this color, let's just say that. So for designing Medusel, the priority is to have a big building that is rectangular shaped and the two side rooms attached. Some other important details are the pillars in the interior as well as the gold detailing on the outside. There have been a couple great LEGO Edoras mocks over the years, but one of my favorites is this playscale model by Aaron Brick Designer over on LEGO Ideas. The smaller size makes it resemble an old set, such as one might see from the original Harry Potter sets. I really like how simple it is, and I took a lot of inspiration from it during this build. Probably the hardest design part was this roof. I went through a bunch of different designs because I had to make it sturdy enough, but also the top beam ended up getting bowed a bit in the middle, and so I needed to find the right dimensions where I could still use the hinge clips to make it sturdy, but not bend the Legos. Okay, I've run into another problem. That's not proper Lego geometry. This has been deeply frustrating, but also deeply enlightening. This is like a half plate off from working. Okay, this does it. This works. This goes in here and it fits against the plate there. I've got it kind of at the wrong angle, but I have tested it and this works. The only downside is the gray piece that's, holding this all together. Only got one of it in this whole pile. It's gonna be a bit fragile. I did build this thing to go on top of it, and I think this looks pretty good. I'm kind of proud of how I did the roof design here, making it come up as flush as possible, I think, with the top arch. One thing that's really bothering me, LEGO was cruel, okay? LEGO was not doing a nice thing. So see this? This 1x1 is dark brown. This 1x1 is dark green. I'm red-green colorblind. I cannot tell these apart, like, basically at all. I have to, like, put them physically next to each other, scrutinize them very closely in very ideal lighting, and then I can kind of tell them apart. But I swear I'm gonna put some green stuff on this build somewhere. I might have already done it and I wouldn't even know. This is cruel. This is just oppressive, downright oppressive. Ugh. After staying up till about 4 AM, I had produced the roof and front pillars, as well as the start of a floor layout. After a long rest, I sat back down to work. Well, I didn't record more, but it's now done. At least the building is done. I'm gonna try to build a rockwork bit to go under it, to have the stone steps that come down, but I'm not sure if there's enough rock pieces to make that happen. Either way, the house itself is done. Medusel, the Golden Hall, and I'm very happy with it. This is definitely the best angle, which is why I'm showing this angle to you, but we'll take a look at all of the angles in here. First of all, the roof was kind of a challenge to make. I kind of already went over why the angling was annoying, but these side panels are also kind of hard. This is eventually what we went with. On the inside, I've set up a bunch of minifigs just to give it a sense of being lived in. We have these banners hanging from the pillars. The throne, it's on a little stand that is a bit bigger. I tried to also use these pieces to make a rug. I don't know if that's what that looks like, but hopefully, got the cook fire, got some barrels and storage there, shields and an axe over there. Overall, this was just kind of a stretch making all the walls work. Used a lot of windows, just because I'm gonna run out of brown parts otherwise. I kind of cheated on the back here using these plates, but from the inside, I actually think it looks pretty good. It also uses the darker color, and so it gives the sense that the throne is kind of shrouded in shadow. And I very much like that. We have the window, and then on the front, all of this gold detailing using these really nice Celtic knot tiles. The floor layout itself is actually pretty big. It uses almost all of the dark tan plates that the set even comes with, except for like these angled ones that I have sitting up here, but there's not a good way to integrate those. It's pretty big, and the biggest challenge is just filling out the walls because there's not that many brown parts in this set. When the roof is on, it looks like they're almost flush, but there's like a very slight gap in between there, but it's not terribly noticeable from the front, and really the front is what I cared about. The front is what I wanted to be able to view this from and think, ah yes, that looks like the Golden Hall. So yeah, That's Iteras. Super fun to do alternate builds and find creative ways to make things work within constraints, and I think it doesn't look too shabby. But before I could call it good, I needed to add a little bit more. So after about an hour of work, we added the rock layer as well, including the steps. I think it looks really good. It goes all the way around, and honestly, this is probably the single best part of the MOC. I really like how it brings it all together and really makes it stand above just like a random building. Look particularly good at that angle. And I had just enough brown parts left over to make this little watchtower. This kind of represents something you see in the movie. You can put a guy standing in it. And having done this, there's still a lot of parts left over. Anyways, I'm super happy with how this came out, and I hope you enjoy it as well. This was only made over the course of 2 days, so with more time it could definitely be improved, but I'm very satisfied with it. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and as always, have a wonderful day.